by trusted 875-145-795.
Now, here's Larry. Welcome to Real Estate Radio, hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, a top-producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, connecting you with top-performing agents for 2% commission. Each week, we bring you exclusive interviews with industry experts, covering everything from staging to negotiation strategies to home inspection issues and everything in between. Whether you're selling your home, a first-time home buyer, or a seasoned investor, we've got you covered. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality in this fast-moving and ever-changing real estate market.
This program is funded in whole or in part by Trusted Agent USA. Illinois license number 475-145-795.
Now, here's Larry. Welcome to Real Estate Radio, hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, a top-producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, connecting you with top-performing agents for 2% commission. Each week, we bring you exclusive interviews with industry experts, covering everything from staging to negotiation strategies to home inspection issues and everything in between. Whether you're selling your home, a first-time home buyer, or a seasoned investor, we've got you covered. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality in this fast-moving and ever-changing real estate market.
This program is funded in whole or in part by Trusted Agent USA. Illinois license number 475-145-795.
Larry, I'm glad to be back for another Saturday on the Real Estate Radio Couch with you. We've had an interesting week, and we've got some really good stuff to talk about. I think it's going to be helpful for the folks. I know that we've got some follow-up conversations, both on what we talked about with Dane Laverty last week, and what we did on the Wednesday podcast. For those of you who don't join us online on Wednesdays on the podcast-only format, we talked a lot for an hour with some specific numeric examples of DSCR loans, or debt service coverage ratio loans, and how they can make things happen. So we'll touch on that a little bit today. I know you've got some real estate and spring market stuff to talk about. And with the shift in mortgage rates over the last, say, 6 months, we've got kind of the window opening on the first wave of refinancing activity. And we're going to talk a little bit today about how to do that math.
Good. Yeah, a little bit of house cleaning here, guys. Like I always say, real estate, full contact sport. So remember, give us a call if you have any questions about a transaction you might be dealing with now. If you're thinking about getting into the market, whether you're buying, selling, or investing, give us a call or text us today at 773-763-9278. That's 773-763-9278. Text or call us, and we'll do our best to answer whatever questions you have or help you out however we can. Also, like Dylan mentioned, or actually I think he mentioned this off air, to our TikTok followers. We're on TikTok, of course, but we're also streaming live on Facebook at the Real Estate Radio Show podcast group. Go join that on Facebook, and you'll get updates on all of our live events and, of course, our podcasts. We're also on WCPT 820.
Yeah, you may be listening to us on the radio, but no matter where you get your social media, we're there.
Yeah, we're, of course, on WCPT 820 AM. So we're happy to have you all along. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And so we had a really good show with Dane Laverty of Property Pals USA.
Absolutely fantastic. I think that, what we talked about last week was really, really valuable. You want to kind of queue up what do you want to focus on, Larry, from Dane's conversation last week as a kind of recap for everybody?
Yeah. So we really focused on DSCR. One of the things we focused on.
Did we spend a lot of time on DSCR with Dane?
We touched on it.
I think it's all tied. I think it's all tied together. But I think that the most important thing that Dane brought us last week is the idea that it's not always necessary or even advisable to sell your real estate with a traditional kind of real estate broker / agent like you, where you're working for I mean, what's a traditional brokerage these days, right? But whether it's a Coldwell Banker or a Century 21 or an EXP or a Compass or a brand name like that there are lots of buyers in the market who are helping sellers who cannot get that property into the arena that works for the traditional broker, right? And that could be deferred repairs. That could be that you inherited a property you need to get rid of quickly. It could be that you have life changes that are causing you to enter the foreclosure space, and that it's necessary to dispose of the property quickly before the bank takes it. Like there's all sorts of reasons that folks enter Dane's world of non-traditional real estate brokerage, right?
Which is typically referred to as wholesaling. And that's where somebody may come in and get a property under contract and then sell it to an end buyer or assign it to another buyer. But those are all reasons why people would work with somebody like Dane at Property Pals USA, as opposed to a typical broker like myself.
Right. So the typical broker like yourself, Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're using this example, is more of a retail experience, right? So we're going to get full retail price for my real estate. I'm going to list it with you. We're going to look at staging options. We're going to do all the things that are necessary to sell the house, which I know we're going to talk a little more in a few minutes about. But if I don't have the capacity, time, or wherewithal to do the things necessary to enter that retail market, that I can avail myself of wholesale solutions. Is that what we're saying?
Absolutely. I mean, there is a place in the market for people that do wholesaling. 100%, because there's a lot of people that are in these situations, like you said, whether it's because they're underwater on their house, which is not typical right now, but they may be underwater on their house. They may be behind in payments, looking at a possible foreclosure filing. They may have a house that has way too much repair on it and they can't possibly do that.
I think, Larry, the cool thing that you're getting at here is the idea that it's
not hopeless.
Right. It's not hopeless. So most people, oddly, I think that people look at the market now and they're like, I'm not upside down, but I'm still paralyzed, right? I'm paralyzed, like you said, I'm paralyzed by the inability to make the repairs. I'm paralyzed by the fact that I'm in these foreclosure proceedings, but I don't just want to give the house back to the bank like a short sale because I'm not short, right? So now how do we make this happen? And I think the wholesale channel can have some solutions. And I think Dane did a great job. I think it would be a great idea if we turn around and had Dane on again at some point in the next month or so.
Well, guess what? That is ironic that you would say that. I love irony.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. Dane is actually going to be joining us once a month on Saturdays. One Saturday a month.
That's fantastic.
And then every Wednesday or any Wednesday he could make it on our forum, where we have, we're going to have a bunch of people on to talk real estate, including consumers that might have any issues they want to talk about.
Well, and I think I'm excited about it too. I know that we get up here on Saturday and we talk a lot while we're on the radio about kind of global issues, right? In the real estate market. Hey, where are interest rates going? Hey, like we're going to talk about today, what are the best things to do to get your house ready for the spring market and that sort of stuff. But like we did on Wednesday, you can, and really every Wednesday for the last month or so, we can do a really deep dive on that. We've done a deep dive on managing investment properties and multifamily, acquiring properties
had a great show with Ivan and Jackie Mirandabaum.
Right. And then we did another week where we did a deep dive on acquiring properties using the Burr method.
Yeah.
And that's it. We spent an hour on that. Now, this last week, we spent an hour on DSCR loans. And so that Wednesday forum, I would encourage people to either look up the videos that we posted in the Facebook group, or to turn around and find us live on Wednesdays, because we're going deeper than we do here on Saturday, for what that's worth.
Yeah. And remember, you guys, if you're listening out there, 773-763-9278, you can call or text us with any questions. And you know what? If you're going through a tough time right now with your property and you're in a distressed situation, give us a call and let's see if we can help you out and give you some.
We won't name names. We'll keep your privacy.
Of course not. And on the other hand, if you're just looking to get into the market and sell on a typical retail basis, you know, how I do it and how most brokers do it, call us as well, and we'll see if we can help you out. We have some great upcoming guests. So February 3rd, and I'm projecting out a little bit here, but February 3rd, we're going to have Cliff Capson on of Cliff Capson Consulting, and that formerly was EnviroSpec. And Cliff is really one of the premier authorities on, I'm going to say something fancy here, exterior cladding. I don't know, do I have to say exterior? Because cladding.
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there, Larry. We're just going to talk to him next week about it. Let's not get too far down that rabbit hole.
Well, what I want to do is I want to explain exactly what he does. So cladding is any kind of exterior substrate, whether it be brick, drive it, you know, EIFS, which is known typically as drive it, and composite siding, stucco. Cliff is an expert on this. We just had one of our properties that's on the market inspected by Cliff, which is a stucco clad building, and it's a single family home, large single family home, all stucco, and you really have to keep an eye on these things because you could go down a really.
I'm going to tell you something, Larry. You know, not to go down this rabbit hole too deeply, but I have a financial advisor and friend that I've worked with for 25 years, and his parents bought a new construction house, completely clad in drive it in St. Charles, probably 15, 18 years ago. Okay. And it was it's a beautiful house, probably 4,000 square feet, right? I mean, on one of those little perchy hills and the whole thing.
Yep.
You know, and the subdivision they built in didn't have a ton of houses, a lot of space between the houses, you know the type. But it's also out at the edge where 20 years ago on the west end of St. Charles, where you found yourself kind of at the end of civilization. What I mean by that is there weren't a lot of paved roads, and they had turned around and kind of plowed under a fair amount of.
Just like Wasco
kind of, sort of, and very near there, right? So yeah, that sort of thing. But there wasn't it wasn't like just off Randall Road, right? Where you're like paved and Home Depot and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of woods and there's a lot of trees and creeks and nature and blah 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 blah. And they finished that house within a year or a year and a half. The drive-it got attacked by woodpeckers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they spent the next 10 plus years trying to deal with that issue because they feuded with the builder about it a little bit. Then they feuded with, you know, the company that provided the materials, and this. Finally, they had to rip it all down and brick up the house, which cost $100,000 or something. Yeah. I mean, it was insane.
Well, the inspection alone on a drive-it, like for this house here that I was talking about, it's about a 4,000 square foot house, like the one you were mentioning, and it's about, you know, somewhere around $1,800-$1,900 for the inspection. Because it's a very thorough inspection and you got to make sure there's no moisture behind that cladding. So anyway, Cliff is going to talk about that, but we have another interesting guy coming on in February who's the CEO of Valiant Business Media. And what we're going to talk about is what me and Devin were talking about a little bit before the show, and that is AI and how that is going to affect and how it is affecting the real estate market and marketing of real estate.
I'm interested to see where that conversation goes. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Let's not get too far on that.
It's going to be interesting.
That path.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about today. Let's just real quickly get into some just market dynamics. Where are the rates at right now? We're still right about 6.5.
No, more like 6 3/4. I mean, rates are. I mean, rates are not at the bottom end of that range, right? They're still good. Really good.
Not bad. Okay. And I'm curious, Where's the 10-year Treasury bond at? I know I'm hitting you up with something here I didn't tell you about. Do you know where it's at now?
No, because I mean, I'll Google it while we're talking.
Because I'm curious about that, because really that's what's tied to rates, more mortgage rates specifically, and long-term investments, more than the Fed rate. Am I correct?
Nah, maybe. So the answer is 4.15. So, but let's talk about the 10-year Treasury. And the thing is that the 10-year Treasury, Larry, is kind of what we call a proxy. So it stands in for most folks who are not in the mortgage business for the general trend in rates, right? And so I actually see 4.139 is currently where we're at. So the 10-year Treasury is the government issued bond that services everything in the economy. However, at the end of the day, that's just a symbol rate out there. They don't base mortgage rates on treasuries. Specifically, they base mortgage rates on the trading of mortgage-backed securities. And those are the bonds that are similar to treasury bonds that are created by the government-sponsored enterprises, FHA, VA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. And your mortgage payment, if you have a mortgage, my poor mortgage payment, because I do have a mortgage, and any new mortgage that we create are in essence, the entire mortgage industry exists to kind of take all those payments, follow the rules and regulations about them, and then aggregate them, right? So one of the reasons you don't get a 4.139 mortgage rate is because to make the thing systematized, they have rates and they go in eighths, right? Six and an eighth, 6 1/4, blah, and so on.
Right.
And so the mortgage-backed securities are traded every day in the market. And there are times where the mortgage-backed securities and the 10-year Treasury kind of move in the same trend, up, down, whatever the case is. But there are also times when mortgage-backed securities will go one way and treasuries will go the other.
Yeah.
And so the mortgage-backed security is the real proxy, and that's a thing. You've seen me open that website that I watched that has the charts.
Yes.
That's a chart of the mortgage-backed securities, not the 10-year.
Okay.
So most accurately,
mortgage-backed securities are what you really want to be looking at.
Exactly. So,
but the Fed rate doesn't necessarily mean one way or the other.
So separate issue. So think about it like this. The mortgage-backed security, the 30-year mortgage, is the longest rate in the entire U.S. economy, right? You can get a mortgage today at whatever the rate is, and you look out 30 years. As long as you make your payment every month, you will have the same interest rate. Now, is that a good deal for you? Does that work? Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff is detailed. But the thing is, that's the longest rate, and it's determined by the mortgage-backed securities market. Like a seesaw, the Fed-controlled overnight discount lending rate is the shortest rate in the market. It is the market that the rate that corporate banking customers will use to lend money overnight. So Chase clears, now we're talking, old school. Chase clears $2 billion in checks from Citibank, and they need $2 billion float overnight till this thing shakes out and all the money sloshes around. The Fed rate is the money, the rate that's loaned at. So it's not a direct impact. So when the Fed is in the market, sometimes the Fed will raise their rate, but mortgage rates get better. And the reason is mortgage-backed securities trading is based on inflation expectations. So as the Fed was raising rates 2 years ago, rates on mortgages rose because everybody's like, oh my God, the Fed has recognized there's inflation here. We have to fight inflation. And remember, we spent all that time where they're like, the Fed's behind the curve on inflation. What does that mean? It means rates have to go higher to fight the inflation. Well, now we've seen rates moderate because we think the Fed is more in the ballpark on inflation. Now, does that mean the Fed's going to cut rates? I don't know. There was an argument earlier this year. We're going to have rate cuts as early as March and 6 rate cuts this year. I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so either.
So I don't
especially with the fourth quarter numbers that
came
out.
The GDP numbers. I think that the market is fine. The market doesn't need rate cuts. Now, the market probably doesn't need more increases, and that's where we're at now. This moderation in rates is based on the idea that the Fed feels
tricky.
It's a very tricky balancing act when they talk about the Fed having to kind of thread the needle, soft landing, all sorts of conversations like that. That's what this is about. And so mortgage rates, the Fed pushes this one end of the seesaw, the overnight lending rate, in hopes that it'll push things down or pull things up on the other end of the economy with the long rates. And the market that gets to decide what's going to happen with the long rates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, makes sense. And like we said, it's tricky. It's a tricky thing to maneuver when you're, the head of the Fed and trying to do this. I think, in my opinion, I'm not really too concerned about a recession, the R word, anymore. I'm just not. I'm going to put it out there. My feeling is we're kind of past worrying about going into a recession. It looks like we're more headed towards what everybody's referring to as this soft landing.
Right.
And I think that's bearing out with the numbers that came out for the fourth quarter. Consumer spending is still, very, very healthy. And so, yeah, there's that. And, there's a lot going on. Builder sentiment is up, like we mentioned. Also, new building permits are up for new construction. New construction has held up the real estate market for a long time while we've been short on inventory. And so, there's just a lot going on out there.
I completely agree. I think the most important thing is, like we talked about on this particular topic, look, new construction has been great for the economy in the global sense, right? They're building houses all over Texas and Colorado and Nevada and, lots of other places. It's not a lot of new construction in Illinois. And I think that, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is, as I've probably said 1,000 times in life, all real estate is local. So at the end of the day, the question is, hey, what's going to be best for you in your market?
Yeah, I mean, there is some new construction in Illinois, but a lot of it is tied with tear downs where they're building their pre-existing homes.
But I mean, I was just saying it is a percent of the real estate activity in the market. It's so much lower.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, I just want to thank our sponsors. And of course, the first one, let's thank Trusted Agent USA, trustedagentusa.com. That's where you're going to be working with the best agents in your area at very reasonable commission rates. You're going to save a lot of money, including money on title. So go to trustedagentusa.com and check it out if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing. Also, of course, we want to thank our partners. And of course, one of those partners are sitting directly to my left. And that is Dylan Kramer. There he is there in all of his glory with his suit coat on and looking like a pro.
I shine up like a new penny, buddy.
I'll tell you what, you clean up good. Also, we want to thank At Home Title Services. Like I said, if you want to save, if you're a seller selling your own home that you occupy, or you're an investor selling off some of your inventory, if you want to save 50% on your title insurance policy, which can be substantial, give me a call at 630-921-0611, or just text title to that same number, 630-921-0611. And having said that, we are going to be back shortly.
Tune in to Real Estate Radio Saturdays at 9 a.m. hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, the top producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com. Top performing agents for 2% commission, saving you thousands when you sell, buy, or invest. Real Estate Radio, the ultimate real estate radio experience. Get insider tips from experts throughout the real estate industry. Streaming live on Facebook at WCPT 820. Trusted Agent USA, Illinois, license number 475-145-795. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio, presented by Agent USA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, saving you thousands. Now, back to Larry, the real estate therapist.
All right, you guys, we are back. Once again, I want to thank you for joining Dylan and I on the Real Estate Radio Show podcast. Remember, we're streaming live at 8:20 a.m. on Facebook. We're also streaming live at our group at the Real Estate Radio Show podcast group. Go there, follow us, and you will be made aware of all of our live events and all of our podcasts. And we got a lot of great stuff coming up. So, Dylan, let's jump right into a couple things here real quickly.
Absolutely, my friend.
The first thing, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but with the spring market coming, there are some things you want to keep in mind, and really there's 4 home staging rules that I want to bring to everybody's attention when you're putting your house on the market. These are 4 home staging rules that you really, really want to keep top of mind before you go on the market, when you're getting your house ready to present to those buyers that are going to be walking through your door. And I am not going to take credit for this. I'm going to give credit for these 4 home staging rules to an article I read by Margaret Gere, who's my good friend at Chicagoland Home Staging, and they are your go-to home stagers in Chicagoland. So the first one is stop thinking that the home is still yours. So when you've decided you're going to sell your home, stop thinking that the home is yours. You are no longer selling your home with all of your magnets on your refrigerator and all your personal pictures on the wall going up the stairs. And I know it has a lot of memories for you. You have to cut the cord emotionally from your home, because you are now selling an asset. And so when you stage it, you want to think about that, because you don't want to be too emotionally driven when you sell your home, which is why you want to be represented by a third party, a broker like myself, or whoever that broker might be.
Yeah, Larry, I think that's a great one, right? Like there's this mindset, and I think that it's a weird thing to kind of adopt, but at the end of the day, it's got to stop being your home and start just being a house, right?
Yeah.
And that, if you're going to sell it, that's the play.
Yeah. Stop thinking that that this is your home and you love it, and these are the great things about it, and why don't other people love what I love about it, and I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And no, you're selling an asset. You're not selling family heirloom. It is now an asset that you're trying to make.
Right, for sure.
Okay, number 2 is recruit an objective opinion, because your opinion of your home is not objective. You love your home, you've lived there for 18, 19, 20 years, whatever it is, and you have become very emotionally attached to your home. You want to take that emotion, throw it out the window, and get an objective opinion of your home, where someone's going to walk through it and say, this is what I would do if I was selling your home, to put me in a position to get top dollar and sell it for as much money as I can in the shortest time possible, because that's how you get the most money you possibly can. You don't linger on the market. Okay, number 3, and this is, when people think of staging, they often think of adding things to the home, adding a flower vase here, which you're going to do, or add a throw here, or a pillow here, or paint this or do that. But you also want to edit, which means anything. Let's put it this way: remove 80% of the stuff. I use the nice S word.
Right.
Remove 80% of the stuff that you don't need. Get it out of your house even put it in your garage. People understand when you're moving that, a lot of stuff goes in the garage. If you can put it in storage, great. But edit, remove 80% of the stuff you don't need, show your square footage, show your counter space, show that space. And am I right? How do you feel about that?
I think that makes all the sense in the world, right? I mean, ultimately,
Margaret.
I think that, look, Margaret's right, because Margaret does that for a living. Let's not argue about Margaret. I mean, we had her on the show. I think it makes all the sense in the world. So, I think that's really where the whole thing's at. Is look, the question is, I always ask whether it's about staging or coming to the market in any situation, is kind of the following. Do you want to put your house on the market, or do you want to sell your house?
That's right. That's right. The longer you stay on the market, the farther away you get from your list price.
Right.
Just remember that. That's how it works. Okay. Number 4 are strategic final touches. And that's what I alluded to a little earlier when we talked about editing and removing things. You're still going to add some strategic final touches, like some of the things we mentioned. Flower vases filled with flowers. I even tell, when I'm doing an open house and launching a property and doing that first open house after pre-marketing it,
Right.
I'll suggest to the seller, bake some cookies, get up early and just bake some cookies. Get that good, warm smell in your house.
Right.
Bake some chocolate chip cookies and put them out. Likely no one's going to take one. Not me.
Go ahead
I
and
would
take
take
one.
one.
Absolutely.
I would definitely take one. But, do some strategic things like plush throw sets and, white pillows on, if you have a home that has a lot of wood in it, you're going to add color to it, like we did on a property that my associate just sold in Naperville. It had a lot of hardwood,
Right.
a lot of red hardwood type stuff everywhere. And Margaret, to add some color to that, added some stools around an island with a white, you saw the picture.
Yeah.
With a white, white seats. She added white pillows and some other things that just added color to it. That broke up all that wood. And it was a beautiful home. I mean, it was
and Larry, let me ask you this.
When
you talk about that, I find it interesting because, I listen to these 4 tips, and the thing that I hear in the first view is these are things in theory, that you could do yourself, right? I can take away my stuff. I can, that sort of thing. But I can't really, unless I'm a professional like Margaret, or I've done it for a long time like you, I can't look around my own house and be like, oh, this will be the thing. Like, I'll get these stools with white cushions. It'll be great. Well, I don't know. So at that point, you need help, right?
You need that objective opinion. What we talked about, right?
Yeah, I get that.
You need that objective opinion, and the most important reason you need that is because you're not gonna walk around your house without that emotional attachment to the house that you've had with all those memories, raising your kids, and all that, and make these decisions without your heart involved in it, and you gotta remove that.
Totally get it.
Those are things that you want to really keep in mind when staging your property for the spring market coming up. And of course, the number one thing, guys, when you're selling your home is price your house correctly. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to talk a little bit about my pricing strategy, which might surprise you. But we're going to talk a little bit about that in the next coming weeks, because I can't tell you how important that is. Nobody cares what your capital gains taxes are that you're going to pay on your home when you sell it, because you're making money selling your home, and there's going to be capital gains taxes on it if you don't do something with that money, and talk to your accountant about that. But you want to really just keep all these things in mind when selling, and especially with the spring market.
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what else? What else? Let me ask you this. Strategically, are we? It's kind of a 2-foot putt, right? Because we're talking about staging, but we're better off staging than not staging, right? Ultimately.
Listen, I will tell you this right now. Staging sells properties. The last, and I don't care if you're selling a $500,000 property
That's
or
a great
$2.5 million property.
And that's really the thing. Like we see it all the time. Like I think people think it's really stuck or bound to upper range properties on high end properties.
Yeah, and Margaret will tell you that the majority of the properties she stages many properties that are in the 750 or 500 to $1 million range.
No,
and
that
she
makes a lot of
does many
sense.
that are in the $4, $5, $6 million range.
Right.
They're staged differently, and but it's important. Staging sells, and here's a good point. The last 2 properties that Margaret has staged for one of my associates, the furniture that she staged it with, the buyer bought the furniture with the home. Now these were both homes with very high-end furniture she staged.
Yeah, no, that's more an upper bracket type of luxury type situation, right? I think that's less likely to happen on your $500,000 house, largely because the folks who are buying those houses have a house full of furniture they're bringing anyway, right? I don't necessarily want to make an additional investment in a house full of furniture.
Yeah,
which I get.
Yeah. So you had some things you wanted to touch on. Let's get into those.
You know, one of the things what do you want to talk about, Larry? When you talk about rates and refis, we talk about the DSCR conversation we had.
Okay, so we had a really good conversation on the DSCR loans and why that's attractive, not only to investors, but potentially, and they're investors too, people house hacking, but they're going to live in the property as well. In one of the units. But yeah, let's get into that a little bit.
Cool. Hey, so here's the thing. It's a great opportunity for people who are trying to hack a house, right? We've talked about house hacking previously being kind of the exclusive domain of a person who's buying and living in one unit, renting out the others. This is a different element to that, but also attached to it, right? And the question is, how do we get into the house? Well, one of the things when you buy a place that you're going to reside in as a owner occupant of a 4-unit or 3-unit, you find yourself in a situation where you get to use the rents to qualify to buy the place. And that is attractive, but it's not mandated that you end up in a situation where you live there. Now it's different, right? You can buy 3.5% down as an owner occupant, where you have to put a significant percentage more down, at least 20%. But what we explored on Wednesday, and I'll share with everybody now, is there's literally a grid, right? I mean, we pulled it up on the screen and we showed everybody. So when we go to process your mortgage pre-approval for a DSCR loan, you're going to invest in the property, you're going to put 20% down or more. There's a grid, and on one side of the grid is the size of the down payment, 20%, 25%, all the way to 50% and 5% increments. And then on the down grid is the credit score, literally as low as 620, all the way to 760. And the higher your credit score, the less you can put down, and the better your interest rate is. That's the bottom line. And so there are a bunch of different other qualifications, right, in terms of parameters to run you through. Is it a 2-unit or 3-unit, 4-unit? Is it a, does the rent cover 100% of the payment? And that's the thing on a DSCR loan, right? When we qualify you for a normal mortgage, you have to qualify based on your income for the monthly payment. However, in a DSCR loan, if you have 3 rents in the apartment, those rents total $5,000, as long as the payment is less than $5,000, then you're going to qualify for that loan. And that's it.
Yeah.
Based on the down payment and credit score parameters.
They're not going to look at your W-2s.
Right. They're not interested. It's not an income qualifying loan. Now, again, this is not a loan for the person who's listening and says, well, I've struggled to pay my bills, but I would love to be a homeowner. That's not this person. This is the person who says, I haven't figured out how to invest in a property. But the cool thing about this DSCR loan, which we didn't talk about on Wednesday, which I think I want to make this point now, is there are things in lending that protect the lender, but as a result, do a great job protecting you as the borrower. And the DSCR loan is one of those. It's not the only example. I can give you another one in a second. But the thing is that if the lender says, look, these 3 rents make $5,000, and if your payment's $5,000, you're good. Then you don't end up in a situation where real estate agents who want to do a deal, other people, your enthusiasm to do a deal, looks at a property and says, well, the payment's $5,800, but maybe I can get in there with these $5,000 rents, little paint, little scrubbing, little this, little that, and increase the rents over time and make the thing work. That's probably a bad idea in terms of the way to invest in real estate, right?
I agree.
And to optimistically hope it's going to work out based on some other value you bring. So it has to work up front. So the loan, the company providing the DSCR loan, wants to make sure the loan works up front. That protects them, but it also has the effect of protecting you as the borrower and the investor. And that sort of protection is great. Another example of that sort of protection, Larry, is I'm sure you've seen folks do renovation loans, and where you buy a house and it's in disrepair, and you're like, I'm financing $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 in repairs. You can do that. You can do that on multi-units, and it's a challenging loan product to do. I've done a few. It's not easy. But one of the
have a lender that knows what they're doing.
The lender has to, well, and the thing is, you need the person, you need the frontline mortgage loan originator, like who knows what they're doing. But additionally, they have to work at a company that knows how to execute those loans. And not only in the creation and origination of those loans, but then in the administration of the construction project. So to that end, they'll require you to get a construction manager and a HUD consultant, right? And you have to bring that person to the transaction. Well, that person's job is to protect the lender from unscrupulous contractors, from cost overrides, from inflation in the bids, and some other stuff, and to make sure that what you're agreeing, right? They don't just give you $100,000 check and say, yeah, go ahead and fix the house up. Like, you need a detailed bid. And that construction person's job is to make sure that the scope of work you're signing up for will bring the property to the place that it needs to be. And so that construction person is there to protect the lender, but it has the result of protecting you as the consumer when you do one of those transactions. And so there are some fail safes built in to the lending business, especially after all the conversations about predatory lending 15 years ago, right? So when you do something that's non-traditional, right? We talked about wholesaling being a non-traditional end of real estate. DSCR loans are a non-traditional sort of mortgage in the same way. It's not wholesale versus retail, but it's non-traditional in the same way. And that puts you in a situation where the lender's fail safes protect you. So, but the best thing about the DSCR ultimately is if the payments that you're signing up for work, the loan is approved, meaning and by work, I mean covered by the rents, right? So if you buy, and that's an attractive way to buy an investment piece of real estate. The rents will pay the payment. So if you, I would ask this, if you are interested in a house hacking white paper that we had on 6 months ago, so it's probably a good time to bring it up again. If you're interested in the house hacking white paper, send me a text, send the word hack, HACK, to 630-708-7088, and I will text you back a link to download the white paper.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, the gentleman I was talking to yesterday that is kind of on the fence about putting his 3 flat on the market, that's in very good shape, fully leased out, and who I explained to him there are investors by the droves out there looking for new doors to add to their inventory. We spoke a little bit about those loans, and he said he's a big fan of those loans as an investor.
He should be.
And he should be.
It's a quality investor loan. I think that one of the things that you're going to see is in a market like this, you have to solve the real estate problem. And one of the ways you can solve a real estate problem is with financing.
Yeah.
There are a lot, and so that's really the market that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we are going to come right back and wrap things up at the Real Estate Radio Show podcast. We'll see you soon.
Tune in to Real Estate Radio Saturdays at 9 a.m. hosted by the real estate therapist Larry Shakman, a top-producing real estate broker, author, CEO, and founder of TrustedAgentUSA.com. Top-performing agents for 2% commission, saving you thousands when you sell, buy, or invest. Real Estate Radio, the ultimate real estate radio experience. Get insider tips from experts throughout the real estate industry. Streaming live on Facebook at WCPT 820. Trusted Agent USA, Illinois, license number 475145795. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio, sponsored in part by TrustedAgentUSA.com, the ultimate real estate matchmaker, saving you thousands. Now back to Larry, the real estate therapist.
All right, you guys, once again, thanks for joining us today, this Saturday morning, the 27th of January. This year is already flying by.
You know, you say that, but you said the 27th, it feels like January 55th.
Exactly. Hey, we've talked about a lot today, and I just want to bring this up real quickly. If you guys are interested in a great read that will literally answer a lot of these questions we talked about today, and I'm going to flash this on the screen real quick. And just go, and you can go to TrustedAgentUSA.com and get my new book, The Top 10s of Real Estate. These are 32 top 10 real estate lists that are absolutely proven to max out your profit when you buy, sell, or invest. So yeah, you could go to Anderson's bookstore in Naperville or go to any of your online booksellers and buy it for whatever. But if you'd like a free copy of the ebook, just text me at 630-921-0611, text book, and I will send you a link to that free ebook, and it'll answer a lot of these questions.
Solid. I like it, Larry.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so having said that, let's wrap this up with a couple of things. First, I really enjoyed that conversation about the DSCR loan.
Yeah, I thought when we did a deep dive on it on Wednesday, and I thought we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah. If you guys want to check that out, go to our real estate group on Facebook, the Real Estate Radio Show podcast group, and watch the full episode. And you're really going to get a deep dive, if you're thinking about getting into investing, on how these loans can really make it a lot easier for you to get into investing. Now, one thing about these loans is the interest rate is a little bit higher. Am I correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's higher than the conventional 30-year fixed rate loan, for sure. Right? I mean, the thing is that it's more, I think, based on the idea that it's an investment property than it is that, hey, we're not doing debt to income ratio or any other thing, right? At the end of the day, I think that we looked at that grid, Larry, and you could, with a 760 credit score and 35% down, if I remember correctly, that rate was in the 7.5 area. Well, rates are in the 6 3/4 area. So you pay a little bit more money, but are you paying any more money than you would if you financed a Fannie Mae investment property? No, not by much. Rates on a Fannie Mae investment property about half over the going rate, right? So at the end of the day, if you qualify for a Fannie Mae investment property, you might get 7.25 and have a boatload of paperwork. Or you can get a DSCR loan and go at 7.5-ish, right? Like that. So, and again, that's not a quote. specific examples, need your information, all the disclaimers, blah, blah, blah. We're just talking about the ballpark area of rates. Relatively speaking, these DSCR loans are competitive with loans on Fannie Mae program.
Yeah, it's a great product. It's something that if you're investing already and you already have a portfolio, you probably know about this product. If you're just getting into investing, then that's something that you want to take a serious look at. And of course, like we always say, if you want to get into investing, get around people that invest, join Chicago RIA, join another real estate group.
Join our Facebook group where we talk about real estate all the time, every day, right? So if you go again to Facebook and find the Real Estate Radio Show podcast, our group, you can just join the group, and we'd be glad to have you and share what we have on a day in, day out basis.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing that is like super important when you're selling your home, probably the number one thing, and that is what you price it at. Guys, I want to make sure I'm being clear on this. It is not a good, I know the conventional wisdom is, hey, we're going to price our home a little higher because we can always drop the price. It's not a good look.
Is that really the conventional wisdom, Larry? It really is. You know what? You say that, but in my experience, I know you and almost every agent I talk to knows that the consumer says this all the time. Oh, I think, hey, you have a discussion like, I think about your house is worth $479. I'm like, well, let's put it on at $529 and see what happens. You know what's going to happen
in there?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all.
So, and then your house gets the stink on it. And at the end of the day, that's really where the problem is. So I would argue that it's conventional wisdom to the consumer, but not to the real estate.
Well, here's the thing, though. The only conventional wisdom that matters is to the consumer, because we're constantly fighting this battle. I have done this over and over again. And guys, here's just a good rule to think about. The longer you're on the market, and I mentioned this earlier, the farther away you're going to get from your list price. So it's not a good look to start high and then come down over a couple of months, because it plants, people are talking to the buyers out there are talking to the voices in their head as to, well, why isn't this property selling? And what's the problem with this property? It seems like a nice property, but why is it still on market 3 months later? So not a good idea. We're going to talk about my pricing strategy in the weeks to come. And
I think that's a good thing to do a dive on. Right?
Yeah, I think on a Wednesday we'll do a deep dive on pricing. And we don't have to spend the whole show on it, but we can certainly do a deep dive on that, because it is probably the single most important thing that is going to keep your equity in your pocket and make you the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time possible by getting the most amount of people interested in your property when it first comes on the market.
You know what? The thing I would tell you, Larry, is for the people listening as a consumer, is to think about the following. Have you ever sat on your couch with your computer open, watching TV with your spouse, and you're kind of in the market to buy, whether you're a first-time buyer or you're going to be a move-up buyer, or you're just watching the neighbors and you're doom scrolling Zillow and Redfin, and the neighbor's house 2-3 houses over or a block over that you're familiar with comes on the market. You're like, oh, look, so-and-so's selling. Oh, that's overpriced. And you judge it like that.
Yeah.
You haven't even left your couch yet.
Yeah.
And the house is overpriced. You're not interested.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, you got to be really careful with that. Listen to the pros that you're working with. Having said all that, I want to thank Devin on the board. Thank you, sir, for keeping us live. That's awesome.
There you go.
And Dylan, thanks again.
No, Larry. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah,
thank you. It's been another great hour on the couch.
Yeah. And so guys, remember the Real Estate Radio Show podcast group. Go there, join it, and follow us, and let's do real estate. We'll see you this coming Wednesday and next Saturday back here at the studios of WCPT, 8:20 a.m. Have an awesome weekend.
Thanks for joining us on Real Estate Radio with your host, Larry Shakman, the real estate therapist and top producing broker. Now, go to trustedagentUSA.com and save thousands when you sell, buy, or invest. Illinois license number 475-145-795. Tune in next week for the ultimate real estate radio experience.
The preceding program, Real Estate Radio, is brought to you in part by Trusted Agent USA. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of Newsweb Radio or its management.
Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive.
People who listen to WCPT, you are bright, you are interested, you are interesting, and you are well informed. It is a gift for me to be here, and I appreciate it every day. We obviously couldn't do this without you.
Joan Esposito, weekday afternoons 2 to 5 on WCPT 820.
NBC News Radio, I'm Brad Siegel. The Biden administration is confirming a record number of encounters at the U.S.-Mexico border in December. Brian Shook takes a look at the numbers.
On Friday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials announced there were over 302,000 encounters at the southern border last month. Nearly 250,000 of those were between ports of entry on the border. CBP agents say there's been a 50% decrease in migrant encounters in the first 2 weeks of January, partly due to enhanced enforcement of immigration laws. I'm Brian Shook.
Former President Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail a day after being hit with an $83 million civil judgment. Trump will speak at a rally in Las Vegas today ahead of the February Nevada primary and caucus. Trump supporters won't be the only ones in attendance, though. The Democratic National Committee has announced plans to fly a plane around the city carrying a banner that reads Donald Trump, ban abortion, punish women. Today marks International Holocaust Remembrance Day as the war rages on between Israel and Hamas. In Florida, Miami-Dade Vice Chair Commissioner Anthony Rodriguez sponsored the mobile Holocaust exhibit to raise awareness and combat anti-Semitism.
We are also supporting Israel in the devastating stuff that's happening over there. So we want to make sure that we create awareness for our entire community.
The exhibit is a 360-degree immersive presentation housed inside a replica of a World War II-era cattle car, like the ones used to transport Jews to death camps during the Holocaust. Alaska Airlines has resumed flying Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes. It comes after the FAA completed its safety review following the in-flight blowout of a door plug on an Alaska Airlines flight earlier this month. On Friday evening, Alaska Flight 1146 departed Seattle and flew to San Diego. Brad Siegel, NBC News Radio.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT.
sure. Good morning, Artie.
Hey, listen, where is he?
I'm listening.
Where is he?
I don't know. I think he's gone. Didn't he get the memo? We let him go.
Oh,
we let Bobby go.
Bobby, I didn't send the memo.
Well,
you think somebody else did?
Val sent it.
Hello. Val.
How you doing, Tony?
Tony, hang on. We're going to introduce you.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Give us a minute. We'll introduce you. We're looking for our co-host Bobby. He's not
he's
here.
missing.
Hey,
listen.
Yeah, we understand.
You were talking about
somebody
me.
sent him. No, that's our co-host. We're going to introduce you too. So
Damn.
You're number 4.
Yeah, I understand.
So we kind of moved the seat. So you're sitting in Bobby's seat.
Uh-huh.
All right, and we got our co-host. Introduce him.
Uh-huh. In my seat.
Zach Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
This is Johnson.
Very
tell
famous
us a little
Johnson.
bit about yourself. You've been on the show before, but go ahead and tell everybody
Hi,
what
everyone.
you're doing and what are you up to.
Hey, yeah, I'm Zach Johnson. You've heard me before. I'm happy to be here. I'm just filling in, doing a co-host, co-host
right.
kind
Coco.
of thing.
With no cocoa.
Yeah, with no cocoa, unfortunately, just coffee.
Coco and Joe. Isn't that this song?
It is.
Ooh.
That was a good song.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm here to
Good.
talk about Tony DeYoung and his career. Talk about what's going
Tony
on
who?
with me.
Tony DeYoung.
Tony DeYoung.
Yes.
Tony DeYoung, yeah.
The Dr.
The one and only
Phil rapper.
That's
the one
right.
and only
Tony D.
Yeah,
Young.
Tony D.
Yeah,
I
got a
tried to
quote
get him
here.
to change his stage name just to Tony Deo. You guys like that? Do you think that's cool? Tony Deo?
Tony D.
Just Tony D?
Tony
All right,
D.
I
Tony
think
D.
his name would be better Art Andrews.
Tony D, that's going to be my nickname.
Was it? That's why I kind of thought so.
Tony
If I
D.
would have known you, that's why I would call you. Hey, Tony D. I know a lot of Tonys in my
All
life,
right.
so Tony D.
Here's
so
the
on.
quote I got on Tony. He could have been another casualty of the street. He might have ended up in jail or become the latest victim of a drug overdose. It was the power of music that drew him to the brighter goal. And I think last time it was G-O-D, God and Jesus. Is that true,
God bless
Tony?
that. That's good.
Tony?
Tony?
Oh, what did you say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well,
So-
I said that, you could have winded up in jail, a druggie, but you found the right path. Jesus and God. Last time
Well,
I think you told us. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like it's just a lot of stuff that I just kept going and stuff. I've always had passion for music, and I think what really, really, really gave me the most passion is just basically being able to, watch other rappers do it. I can't take credit for it all. Like I grew up watching, Eminem, and he taught me a lot of stuff like, Tupac, Biggie. A lot of these rappers, they came from nothing, and it gave me inspiration, to go after what I wanted. Like, I grew up idolizing Stone Cold Steve Austin too. And, just certain people were my influences. So I definitely do credit myself, but there was a lot of influences.
Wow.
He made me feel real old. Saying Stone Cold Steve Austin.
If he made you feel old, I'm dead.
Yeah, that's what I said. You know who Stone Cold is?
Okay.
Do you know who Stone Cold is?
No.
Yes, I say so. You are dead.
I'm dead.
I know him as a wrestler, but I grew up on the Von Erichs. Let's see if Tony know whose that is. Nope, Tony don't know.
Dick the Bruiser, Crusher.
Yeah, all them.
All them. That's who I grew up on.
And I also credit my clients as well, because a lot of my clients who have been with me, like High Power Entertainment, Zach Johnson, the guy in your chair over there, Ryan Gilliard, aka Ryan Rill. He's an amazing artist as well. We got Eric Cohen. We got Rusty Drake. There's just so many amazing artists. Phoenix Saul, UG Robin, aka UG. And we've been working with, Ontario Phoenix, which he made it to national television permanently, like I did. Yeah. So I basically think the success has just been basically, I found my thing, and I'm able to help, other artists find their thing. And it's becoming like, like I'm kind of like a label. A lot of people are coming to me to basically get with Sony under Sony Orchard, for major distribution. So there's just a lot of parts to it now. It's not just about music anymore. It's really crazy how big it got, because I thought it was just going to be music at first. Now you're, behind the scenes, and you're helping other artists get to where they want to be, and you're teaching them how to do it. And it's a big process, bigger than I thought it was when I first started out.
Hey, I have Nikki phone a friend if I have to have some questions. It's right here. Any artists we missed, Evan? No, you don't want to throw another name in?
I can think of
You're pretty good in that music business. That's my phone, my friend.
Yeah.
So
that's your phone, your friend.
When we go
well, to
bonus
our
on
audience, if they
music.
could give us a call if you have any questions for any one of us or our guests, 773-763-9278. Give a call, ask Tony anything, or you can ask Zach something or Artie something. Don't ask me nothing.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Listen. Do we want to play one of the songs first and then come back and
tell us about the song. Who's going to intro it?
Which one do we want to go first?
I think sorry to interrupt you guys.
Go ahead.
You're amazing people.
You're the guest.
But I think honestly, maybe we should play Higher Power Entertainment first. The Rusty Drake. Okay. He's a Christian artist. He's just very inspiring.
We're going to save that one after commercials.
After commercials.
You got another one? What's the other one you want to do?
Yeah, do that first one.
We tried to download it earlier, had a problem, but we'll fix it. Go ahead. Which ones you got, Devin, that you can play?
Heaven and Vision.
How about Heaven and Vision? We got that geared up, ready to go. Is that okay?
Heaven and Vision.
We'll be right back with, let's see, listen to Heaven and Vision. Go ahead.
Jesus died for you. Jesus died for me. Jesus died on the cross, died so we could be free. So you want to get to heaven, Jesus.
Let me take you to a vision, see inside my mind, lead you on a journey, revealing to the blind. What you waiting on? Looking for a sign? Let's talk about eternity, get ready for a ride. Welcome to the gates, St. Peter sits and waits, Father's on the way. Does Jesus know your name? Did you call Jehovah Jireh? Great I am, consumed by fire, cleansing like the freedom, Father, only one who takes you high. Apparently we knew the truth, the hold of salvation. Stepping through the open gates, complete appreciation. Bowing down, I hit the ground, I'm in complete prostration. Glory to the Holy One, the maker of creation. Back up on my feet, dancing in the street. Paid the gold and precious stones, immortal, how skip a beat. I look around and all I see are promises to truth. I see the spoken word as I have heard, signed and sealed in mind to keep.
Walking on the streets of gold, cause heaven is my home. Streets of gold, it's where I belong. I'll be walking on the streets of gold, cause heaven is my home, yeah. Streets of gold, it's where I belong.
Through the window, hear the birds crescendo. Take a picture in my mind, keeping no momentum. On this age, it dance and raise guitars played by Jimmy Page. Hendrix on the other side, man, my mind is blown away. Behind the mic and in the lights, spitting flames and grab the lights. Rhythm move, feet collide, across the floor, I start to slide. Hear the sounds of Tupac, couldn't bleed. Lucky me, gave his life to King. G.O.D. the one that frees, dancing in the streets. Bricks of gold underneath, the way it's paved with names of saints. On my way, I move my feet, my eyes are fixed in front of me. What do I see, what could it be? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John walking down the street. Stop and pause just because my mind is racing overdrive. Jaws dropped, I'm in awe, finally feel like I'm alive. Here we go, see the spot, colors come, I see the light. Sorrows seem to fade away, no more tears and no more strife.
Walking on the streets of gold, cause heaven is my home. Streets of gold, it's where I belong. I'll be walking on the streets of gold, cause heaven is my home, yeah. Streets of gold, it's where I belong.
Whoa, do you hear the words I say? Finally free, no more disease. Made it to eternity internally. Digesting what's in front of me, tasting sweet as honey. Every answer that we seek, I look upon the trees. Leaves are floating in the breeze across the valley. See the seas like a picture, I just cheese. Frozen in the moment. What can I do? What can I say? I was lost, now I am found. Heaven's on
Okay, we're back. Tony, that
I
is
love
wonderful.
that. I did like that.
We do. And look at
No,
that.
that was I really like what these guys are doing with this Christian label, because it's
Right.
a very positive message, and there's enough negativity in this world. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's funny.
And-
Go ahead.
And I just respect a positive message.
Yeah, I agree. You know, honestly, I had found out a long time ago, there was some bands that I really loved that I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but there's a band called Skillet. They're pretty famous, and I didn't know that they were Christian rock, and I used to jam out to them all the time. And another band, I believe that's Christian rock, correct me if I'm wrong, is a band called Red as well, and it's just like heavy rock. And it's really good. Like I would jam out to their music all the time.
Wow.
And it's great that, you know, you have a positive message that can hook you without just being, you know, like I pray, you know what I mean?
And it's funny, I'll touch base more on what Zach just said, but we got a caller, Maria.
Good morning, Maria.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you guys? You know what? I had to call in when I was listening to that song, the Christian rap song, Walking Down the Road. I love it. I had to call in to let you know that.
Thank you.
I really love that song.
It's very
really
positive.
do.
I like
And-
it. And exactly what Zach just said, that beat, instead of just saying, I'm not going to lie, you just open up my word. Literally, this is not for shtick for the show.
Yeah.
I listen to K-Love. And if you know it, it's a power positivity / religious station. And yes, it's kind of what you said, a little too much religion. You know, I get the message getting across. I like all genres of music, but with this music that you and Tony are presenting now, open my mind up. I did not know this was out there. You know, I would listen to this. You go on my channel right now, channel 1. I got it, K-Love Hunter. I now will find this. If I have to do it on an app or a download, I'll do it. But it gives me another opportunity to listen to other things out there where I'm not so beaten down with the message.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because, you know,
Right.
go on,
Maria.
Go ahead, Maria.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I'm very religious and spiritual. And music, I sing in a choir. So music is a way of evoking in the feelings and the love of our, you know, humanity and our Christianity and so on. But this song really touched me. It really did. And I had to call in. I wonder how I can get a copy of it, because it's like, wow.
So I can help you with that. So first of all, just so you know, Tony DeYoung and we are both under Sony Orchard. I am an A&R, and Tony runs his label, Tony DeYoung Entertainment, with Sony Orchard in tandem, and is signed himself. Now, because of the new music business, we get to sign other artists to the Orchard, which is awesome. And these people are part of Higher Power Entertainment. The two songs that you'll be listening to, Visions by Eric Cohen, and Streets of Gold by Rusty Drake. Those are the two. Rusty, yeah. So those are the two artists that you're listening to. Yeah.
So how does she get them?
So you can find them. They're everywhere because Sony.
You just look them up, download them, Spotify, what?
Yeah, they're Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. They're distributed through Sony Orchard.
Yeah, Sony just signed. Yeah, Sony just signed Eric Cohen, actually.
Oh wow,
so
nice.
what is the full name of the artist and the name of the song, so I download the right one?
It's Eric Cohen. EricCohen. And then you can find him on all major platforms, Spotify, YouTube, and he's a Christian rapper, and he's extremely talented. We just started working with him. Works with Higher Power Entertainment, which is somebody I'm trying to get with Sony as well, because they're amazing. So we're trying to get all this positive music. We would definitely love your support, and God bless you.
Yeah, Maria.
Well,
So
thank
just
you
look
so
up.
much for introducing us.
Thank you for calling in, Maria. But
Thank
just
you.
look up Eric Cohen, and you see all his works on there. Like you said, they can look up on YouTube, Spotify, and so on. Just Google his name, and you'll find all his music that he does have out there.
Maria,
I appreciate it.
Send me an email, art820am@gmail.com if you want to have your choir on. We'll do a segment of your choir. It sounds like it'd be a fun segment.
Cool.
Can you imagine Eric in there rapping with the choir?
Well,
Look at that.
We
Look
can
at
have
that.
Eric too. Art820am@gmail.com. Send me an email. We'll talk more, and it'd be great. If it's not live, we can do a recording. All right. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you for the call.
Thank
You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty.
All right, listeners. Anybody else got a question or a call? Just give us a call. 773-763-9278. You want to talk to Tony? You want to talk to Zach? If you want to talk on any subject, give us a call.
Yes, of course. You know what? I want to take this time really quick to plug some things that I'm doing myself.
Go ahead. Please, go ahead.
So really quickly, I just got told yesterday that I am going to be singing the national anthem at the United Center next month.
For
so for a hockey game. So I'm really, really excited. What?
You can sing?
I mean,
wait a second. Wait. You need bodyguards.
Yeah, I you know what? I do need
4 tickets. It's 1, 2. Are you coming?
3. Sure. Yeah,
3
box.
You might want to invite your girl or something. She could be a bodyguard, but you need some bodyguards there.
She is pretty fierce. I could see.
She's gonna guard us from him.
Yeah,
Okay,
right. Seriously.
that's all right.
And then the other thing is my band Stick the Landing. We were formerly called Absolute Phase. Stick the Landing. We are opening for Slaughter, the legendary Slaughter.
Here's all the details.
Yeah, here's all the details for you.
There we go.
I mean, I should have it all in my head, but so presented by Afterlife Entertainment and Swizzle Steve. We're going to be playing Swizzle Steve. I love that. First time I heard that name in our industry, I never forgot it.
It rhymes with
never.
sweets.
Yeah.
And you heard that one.
So it's at the Piazza in Aurora with the guests Pete's Diary, who are an awesome band, SIIN, and DJ Overstreet, and of course Stick the Landing. And it's on the 24th of February. The doors are at 7. You can get tickets online. Really easy to find. You can also go to Linktree. That's linktr.ee/Stick the Landing, and you can get your tickets there. So that is linktr.ee/Stick the Landing.
We have a request already that we want the national anthem recorded from Val so we can play it on this show.
I would love that.
I have a question. I have a question for Tony.
Go ahead.
Tony, are you trying to get all the artists that are power, for positive rap, or what is that what your label's about, or going under the Sony umbrella? Is that the artist you're going after, or?
I mean, Sony's given me a budget to work with, and I just want to work with artists that I feel are going to profit and send a good message. Because it's just, and I need a hard-working artist. I like to see that they invest in themselves, because it's hard to get, artists somewhere if they're not willing to,
they got to put the time
invest in marketing.
Right. Another question.
So wait, interrupt you. Tony, I'm not a hardworking artist. I do paint by numbers, but I can come work for you.
Yes.
Sure.
I mean,
another bodyguard.
I love
Go
that.
ahead, Nicky. Another bodyguard. Go ahead, Nicky.
Hey, Tony, so when you're saying you want an artist that's going to work for you hard, do you think you can transform an artist that might be rap, hardcore, street to the positive side, to where they can catch themselves from maybe using a profanity?
I've done it.
You've done it?
Yes, I've done it. I've done it before. I had a few hardcore rappers. There was this guy named David Portley, aka King Webb, and he had a lot of swears in his music, and I had a talk with him because I was like, I can relate to what you're saying, because I used to swear a lot in my music. I still have a lot of my hits have swears.
I know,
in
we're
them.
watching them all. We're like, I can't play none of your stuff.
Right. We need to get some, like maybe you can put this word in there when you get the swear word.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, instead of the bomb. Go ahead,
Well,
Tony.
it's hard. It's a catch-22
I
because
know
it's
it
like
is. I know it is.
I guess that's my audience. So I guess it's hard.
Tony, I know what you're saying.
Tony,
I
I
got
got
a
a
mouth on me.
question. You were with Dr. Phil and Oprah. Tell us a little bit about the Oprah Winfrey Network. What were you doing there?
I mean, the Oprah Winfrey Network, I can't lie. I felt like I was dreaming being in that position.
Okay.
Why?
It was just insane because you're going, all right, I'm a normal person that had $2 in my pocket, and I'm walking into Dr. Phil and Oprah's studio. These guys are multi-millionaires. They're putting me in clothes. I think my pants cost about $700.
Wow.
My shoes were about, I think they didn't let me keep them, obviously.
Oh, man.
But the shoes that I was wearing were probably about 15 grand. And everything I was wearing, it was expensive clothes. And I just have never, and they brought me in the back to record a music video because they said we want to record a music video, and they had these big cameras, and they looked like they were like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Oh, sure
I never worked with that type of stuff, so it was a very, very life-changing experience for me because it was just like I went from
$2 in your pocket
basically
to
rock bottom.
Yeah, you went from $2 in your pocket to having everything possible. And I see what you're saying, but you want to know what that was, Tony? That was God pushing you that way.
That's right.
Giving you the power. You worked so hard. Some people will go with an addict. An addict is an addict. He doesn't want to be an addict for 30, 40 years. But one day God says, okay, it's time. So it was your time. It just so happened to be, it was Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Phil and them that took you that way. And yeah, you got $15,000 shoes on, $700 pair of pants on, but that's not what you're about. You're about the music and the message, and the materialistic stuff's going to come, especially when you put, like you said, if your artist puts in the work, you're going to, same thing for you. You put in the work, the rewards are there.
Yeah.
I know. And it's been like that. I mean,
God bless, yeah.
It's been a wild ride. It's been a ride. God bless, because
right.
Like I went through some hard times. I remember being homeless, a lot of my music career and stuff. And I don't really, I talk really humble. I guess I used to come off really, like I'm the best, but I'm starting to realize like people want to hear the real story. They want to hear how you
reality sells. There's always, reality sells.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best thing. I would rather know you than those $15,000 shoes and $700 pair of pants. I want to know you, your heart, where you came from. Like you said, so many times we hear artists say, "I came from nothing. I came from the streets." Then we found out they're not always.
Came from ramen noodles.
See?
I came from ramen noodles.
And now you're eating T-bones and prime rib.
Were the ones in the cup or the ones in the plastic wrap?
I didn't have the money.
Tony, the ones in the plastic wrap, were they like 10 for $1 one time?
Were you the county ramens? The county ramens?
I had the cheapest brand. Brand.
The
I'm telling you right now.
Before we go to commercials, I do want to say I was very impressed when I met you that day. Anytime you're in town, come visit us. You're going to be back after commercials, but what a wonderful young man you are. And it was just so impressive because, at first you go, rapper. I'm like, okay, we're open to everybody. But I'm like, you are a super rapper or super artist, musical, whatever title. I want to thank you for going this way and showing the young people, the older people,
that
just
it
like
doesn't
Maria
have to be about the streets. It doesn't have to be about the vulgar. It doesn't have to be about the violence.
Right.
Even if you've experienced that violence, you're showing other people, other artists and people that have experienced that a different path to get that message out there, what they experienced.
Right.
And you don't have to glamorize the cars, the women, the guns. Definitely not the guns. Anyone that's been shot's going to tell you it ain't glamorous. So,
all right, we're going to go to commercials.
Well, Dr. Phil actually. Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, that's right. Tell us about Dr. Phil.
Said, he basically said, he's like, one thing that impressed you about like when I looked at your stuff, he's like, you talk about things that are going on around us. And he said, it's not, you're not talking about, you know, materialistic things, because you just got into the materialistic things, how rappers talk about drugs all the time and all that stuff. But it's like, you look at what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about real life things. And I think whether it was explicit, vulgar or not, it got across more than the people that are doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think you made a good point.
You see artists changing their ways. Believe it or not, I see a lot of artists out there changing.
All right.
Because they know.
Tony, when we come back, we're going to have the Tony Spotlight. I want you to give our listeners and us a spotlight about life when you come back. So let's go to commercials and we'll be back.
Abbott Painting. Painting and decorating since 1973. Abbott Painting specializes in commercial, industrial, and residential properties. Abbott Painting is a licensed general contractor, whether it's a wall, ceiling, floor, cabinet, tower, deck, fence, or anything you can imagine. Abbott Painting, with their 48 years of experience, applies premium paint finishes or wall coverings that will exceed your expectations. Call Abbott Painting and mention this ad for a 10% discount. For your free estimate, call 773-725-9800. Again, that's 773-725-9800. Thank you.
Family Entertainment by JJ. JJ is an Arlingtonite-based family entertainer. He is an award-winning balloon artist and clown. He is also a very funny magician and a face painter who draws quick, simple designs to keep things moving. Ask JJ about his big bubble fun and his link to the North Pole. JJ will help you plan your party by using his years of experience as a family entertainer. Use JJ for birthday parties, corporate events, schools, and picnics. He also makes childcare, nursing home, and hospital visits. JJ has been entertaining children and adults of all ages for over 30 years. Call now for party planning and pricing. You can reach him at 847-483-4520. JJ is a Midwest Clown Association Hall of Fame inductee. Again, 847-483-4520.
Attention out there. Atomic Bingo is looking for show hosts with good personalities, great part-time money, and very short hours. For more information, call 773-805-1900 and ask for Ray. That's 773-805-1900 and ask for Ray. Atomic Bingo. Always a blast.
Your neighbor prescription headquarters, Tarby's Pharmacy, 5933 North Cicero Avenue, 773-545-0500. We accept most insurance cards at Tarby's Pharmacy, from Fannie Mae candies, Hallmark greeting cards, office supplies, books, toys, sodas, toothpaste, drug items, newspapers, lottery tickets, toys, and so much more. Tarby's Pharmacy is family-owned, personalized service, open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., Saturdays 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tarby's Pharmacy, your neighborhood prescription headquarters.
Teach your students the joys of science with Denoyer Geppert. We're the USA's leading manufacturer of anatomical models for education, with a number of our products on display at the Made in Chicago Museum. From autographed anatomy to zoology models, we have something for all ages. Place an order online today at denoyer.com.
You want to feel secure, a sense of trust that will endure. Jennings' reputation rides with you.
Welcome to JenningsChevrolet.com. Jennings Chevrolet in Glenview is a family-owned business that's been serving Chicagoland since 1958. How has Jennings remained in business while so many of our competitors faded away? The simple reason is that Jennings delivers the low prices plus the quality sales and service experience that other dealers only promise. Every dealership pays the exact same amount to the factory for a new Chevy, but some dealers advertise phony low prices online just to lure you in. At JenningsChevrolet.com, every buyer qualifies for our lowest advertised price. The low price you see is the low price you pay. Jennings has one of the area's largest inventories of new Chevrolets and quality pre-owned vehicles. If you can't find what you're searching for, we'll get it through our express locator system. Thank you for visiting JenningsChevrolet.com.
Jennings' reputation
limo-style private tours of Chicago's historic downtown, lakefront, Mag Mile, Chicago mob, ghost, and haunted stories, historic churches, stunning architecture. Up to 6 people per tour, we pick you up and bring you back in style. For Chicago tours you'll never forget, call 312-841-2560. That all-important phone number is 312-841-2560.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's welcome back our guests, Tony and Zach. All right, Zach.
That's our Coco.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Coco. And
What's
then we
up,
got
guys?
our guest, Tony. What's happening?
Tony D. Young.
I'm just hanging out right now. You know, I'm having a good time.
Where are you? Can I
Where
ask
are you?
you're
What's
at
the
today?
weather like where you at? Hawaii, Belize?
Well, right now I'm in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, you got it
my
bad.
hometown.
Wow.
And it's pretty cold down here. I gotta say,
It's always cold down
it's
there. I
way
used to have a
cold.
client, Timberland, down there. I used to fly into Logan and always get stuck there for a week during winter. But I don't know if it's still around. You ever heard of is it the Peace Airport? It's a naval base in an airport not far from Logan. Have you ever heard of that?
Tony.
Yes. I've heard of it. Logan Airport. I've gone out at Logan Airport.
Fly
quite a
that
few
other
times.
one during the winter. You'll never get. They never close it down. It's an airport and I think it's an Air Force base, so they never close it down. But I did hear one bad news out there in Boston. They closed my best restaurant, No Names. Did you ever go there?
What's the name?
No Name.
I never.
What name?
Yeah,
I never went there.
No Names was down by the pier where they sold fish, right? It was hard to get out of there because you could take a cab there, but to get out of there, and you walk in, they had signs up, "Pardon our dust," and it was just a Greek restaurant, but the greatest fish I've had.
Because it's so fresh.
Boston.
It's so fresh.
It was
yeah,
fresh.
Right there, yeah.
And it's a shame they probably retired. But Tony, you up to opening maybe Tony's Fish Place down there?
Tony's Fish and Chips.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we should. You know,
Doesn't
I've
hurt
been
later
thinking
on down
about
the
getting
road.
into the restaurant
Long
business.
Johns can't do it all.
Long Johns can't do it all. How about our phone number?
773-763-9278. If you have a question for Zach, Tony, Artie, or I guess myself.
Okay. What do you got, Zach? You got some plugs, or what do you want to talk about?
All I was gonna say is, like, also call if you think Tony should open up a clam chowder shop.
Clam
Oh,
chowder.
I do love a clam chowder. Good clam chowder, I do.
Nah, I see it more. What is that sandwich? Crab sandwich? What do they call them?
Lobster roll?
No.
Lobster roll. Thank you.
Yeah.
Lobster.
Tony's lobster roll.
Lobster rolls are good.
Lobster rolls,
Huh?
yeah. No.
What do you think? Oh,
I'm on the air. Can I call you back?
How
It's our co-host.
Oh my goodness.
It's our co-host.
Yeah, why
You
aren't
know
you
the thing-
calling
you
the
know
number?
Right
What
here,
is
Bobby. The
happening,
phone number is
Bob?
773-763-9278. Give us a call, Bobby.
Thank you.
Hey, listen.
Hey.
Bye.
Hey, so
Man.
jeez.
You want to make sure I showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's 10:40. It's
Yeah, I
almost
was like,
time to
it's
go.
a little
Hey,
late to
listen,
call to find
where
out.
are
I'm
you?
always here. I was here. They weren't.
You know, he probably got the letter. Val, did you
Yeah,
send
I
him the
told
letter?
you. I told you.
Okay, I think he's calling.
He's probably calling Nick. What are you talking about? What letter? What letter?
Where are you? I heard you got a cease and letter from Val. Is that
You're
true?
no longer to enter the premises.
Hey, listen. What's going on, Artie?
How are you,
Nikki,
buddy? We
how are
missed
you?
you.
We're doing good. We got Tony on the line. We got
How's
Zach
the
here.
show? Everyone's texting me. You're not on the show. Are you okay? I said, well, I'm on vacation this week. What?
You see, we
Hey,
get a little
listen.
publicity that way. We told him we think Val sent you a letter. Wait till Val starts texting me. I didn't do anything.
Hey, everything is great. Everything is great.
You got a question
I'm
for
glad
our
you guys
guest,
are doing
Zach?
well.
Did you have to change rooms like last year? We won't get into details,
No,
but somebody
thank
was
God,
sick.
Thank God. Last year I
Somebody
didn't
was-
go. But the
somebody
year
was sick.
before,
Yeah.
they gave me a room with no heat.
That's
What?
right.
No heat. And it was cold here.
Bobby,
But this
that
time I got a nice room and it has heat, so I'm grateful. You know?
Motel 8.
Forget about it.
Motel 8 in
How you guys
Orlando's
doing?
not where to stay.
Yeah, no.
Motel O.
Yeah, you guys doing all right?
We're doing good.
Yeah,
Everything well? Everything well?
We missed
We're
you,
doing
buddy.
great. We'll see you
Okay,
next
I
week.
missed
We got
you
a couple
guys.
of songs to do right now. Bobby, you have a great vacation, and we'll see you when you get back.
All right, we
right.
love you, baby.
All right,
Okay,
take care. I miss
take
you
care.
guys. Love
Take
you.
care, buddy.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What were you saying, Zach?
Oh, honestly, I forgot what I was saying. All I was thinking was, oh man, he couldn't stay away.
Yeah, see that.
This
You
is
got a
Meg.
song you want to introduce?
Well,
What song do you want to go to?
we got hey Tony, you want to introduce Rusty Drake's song?
Rusty Drake. Yeah, Rusty Drake. He's with Higher Power Entertainment. Shout out to Smudge B. He's the president of Higher Power Entertainment. He's the mastermind
What's his
behind
name
all
again?
this.
Smudge B. Smudge B.
Smudge B.
Smudge.
Michael Smudgical. Michael Smudgical. So
Bobby, you got
he's a
strike
cool
one.
dude, though.
No. Okay.
But yeah, this is a very talented individual named Rusty Drake. He's part of the Higher Power Entertainment label, and they just bring a very positive message. And we're signing, some Christian artists under Sony Music, and we're gonna market them on a specific audience niche.
All right,
And,
let's check this out.
I will say.
Jesus died for you. Jesus died for me. Jesus died on the cross, died so we could be free. So you want to get to heaven, Jesus, you better follow me. He said you want to get to heaven, better follow me. You gotta pray, we playing a dangerous game into the flames, and you can't say the name. Living with hate, the one that sit off your plate. Before it's too late, go out and seek God's face. Seize the day, man, exalt his name. Break those chains, rewire your brain. Make that chain exude out through your veins. And that's for all y'all, man, it's all the same. Jesus, you better follow me. Said you wanna get to heaven, follow me. John 14:3, in the book of our Lord. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. We all want to go to heaven, folks. What are we doing to get there? Who do we love? Jesus.
And we're back. Wow, Tony.
Yep. Rusty. Oh my God. I love that song. I just told Zach, on the stations I listen to, the power of positivity and the music, I would have followed that artist and went towards other artists and probably your label.
Yeah. Tony, when you open up the lobster roll, can you ask Rusty to come in for the grand opening? I think that'd be great. He could sing a song.
Oh yeah,
I think it'd be good. Tony, think about it.
Yeah.
The lobster roll. Tony's lobster roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, I do want to mention
this.
We
can get the lobster roll.
Okay.
I do want to mention this. First of all, if you want to perform at Tony D's Lobster Rolls, send your EPK. No, I'm kidding. No. But really, for real, Tony is still looking for more artists to sign to Sony Orchard and his label. You can either send to me or your EPK and your best song if you want to get played on the radio. Stuff like this, it's not only here.
Dance music,
you want
dance
some dance music
music
too?
Artists? Okay, we'll talk off here.
I'm personally looking for more of the hard rock
Okay.
Degree, but like really well produced hard rock
Okay.
that has a unique sound.
Got it.
I'm also keeping in mind there is a new wave that I've seen in the industry, and that is the integration of Afrobeat sound into modern music, and I love it personally, and I think that it's going to be
Do
the
you
next
see this
wave.
face? It's Greek to me.
Yeah, it's
Keep
great.
talking.
Yeah, whatever. So if you want to do that, you can send your EPK and your best song to Zach, Z-A-C, at capitalmig.com. That is ZAC at capitalmig.com. You can also send it to Tony. However, Tony has me fielding all of the new submissions now.
All right, so let the audience
Wait a
know.
second, interrupt you.
excuse
HE
me.
double, hang on, both of you. HE double hockey
I have
sticks. What
somebody.
is the
Oh, sorry.
EKG, or what did you say?
EPK.
What is the EPK?
So an EPK is an electronic press kit.
Okay.
And
Thank
you know,
you. Okay, I just learned something.
Well, the audience needs to know it too.
The
Yes,
short version of what an electronic press kit is, it is like your one sheet stop for all the information about you, you know, and you don't want it too wordy. You don't want it to, you know,
Okay.
it's self-promotion, but you
Sure,
want
it's
to
one sheet.
yeah,
Get
it's
as much
one
as you
sheet.
can at one
Get it
sheet,
out,
but we want to know
your
about the music.
elevator pitch.
What were
hear
you going to
that,
say,
Bill?
Tony?
We need one of those electronic things. Okay.
Tony, what were you going to say?
Go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just saying, one of my followers wants to call in, and he's just asking me what your number
Oh.
is.
773-763-9278.
Do it again slower.
773-763-9278. And then a question, what you were saying, can you let the audience know we're not just looking for religious artists,
Yes.
all artists is, I mean,
All
whatever
artists.
genre of music you have,
Yeah.
making from jazz to opera to rap to rock to blues to, you know, let them know
Yes.
that anyone that wants to get on a label or a label to be heard, you know, this is Sony we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is Tony's label we're talking about.
Yes.
You know, reach out to Zach, reach out to Tony. If you have to and you can't get it to them, send it to us. We will forward it on to them.
Yes.
But you have direct contact right now here if you want to get into the industry.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that it really is up to you to make that step. But remember, once you make that step, you can't take that step back.
No.
We have seen situations where people have been ready or thought they were ready, then get submitted to Sony, and then they like hesitate instead of move forward with it. You know,
Would you call that stage fright?
yeah, I would call that, you know, it's failure to launch
Right.
is what it is.
Right.
And once you do that, you know, Sony won't take you seriously and you'll have to go to the next one, like United Masters or something.
Before we
Yeah.
go to our phone calls, I'd like our listeners that have a birthday on leap year to call me or email, because we want to do a show and tell them how they feel. They only have a birthday every 4 years. So you can reach me at 773-746-7078 or art820am@gmail.com. Or you want to advertise or any of that good stuff. We usually do it at the end when we rush. So
Yeah.
let's go to our callers.
Eric, welcome to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
We're doing good.
Wait, is this the Eric Cohen?
Yeah, this is Eric Cohen, brother Tony. I'm calling in to give you some gratitude.
What a beautiful song.
Oh.
Hey, good to hear you. Did you hear that caller who loved your song?
I did, man. That was awesome, bro. But I really just wanted to take the moment to express my gratitude for Tony D. Young.
Okay.
What you're doing is amazing, bro. I just want to say that I express my gratitude. Tony is the perfect example of not judging a book by its cover, man. You may see something on the outside that doesn't look like the fruit that is produced from the inside. So glory to God, Tony D. Young. I love you, bro.
You got it.
Thank you,
and
Eric. I love
can
that
you
song.
do me a favor? Can you plug Art and Bobby? Say you love Art and Bobby. Go ahead.
What's that now?
Can you say you love Art and Bobby? From where are they now?
Hey, I love Art and Bobby. Where are they now? From Chicago, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
All right, I appreciate it, Eric. Thanks for the
Thank
call.
you.
Let's go
Have
to
a
Joe
great
now.
day. Who's our next caller?
Joe, welcome to our show.
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing excellent.
You got a question?
No complaints here.
You had a question?
Oh, I do have a question. So I do have a question. I'm an artist myself from Massachusetts.
Nice.
Me and Tony DeYoung have a song together with a couple other artists. It's called Happened.
Happy.
It's Happened.
Oh, happened.
Okay.
Yep.
And
so like I've been dealing with Tony. I've been dealing with Tony for about a year now. He's a great guy. He is a genius when it comes to marketing and promoting. He has game plans. Like I know he might have caught a bad rap from a couple of years ago, or whatever. But I have been working with him for a year, and I stand by this man.
It couldn't have been too bad. He got you, and it's like you
He's
said.
got no bad rap here. And where are they now? I mean, he can come anytime. He can host the show if he likes.
You can't have a bad rap when you have the Lord on your side.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
There's no other best passenger with you. So Tony's just going up.
So real quickly, what's the song about?
So that song Happened basically it's the aftermath of when you're in a relationship with a girl or a relationship with whoever, and it gets to the point of you split up, but you're at that moment where you start to reflect back and you look back and you go, how did we start here? And everything was great at the beginning, but how did we get to here?
Right.
That's the whole song.
It's a good topic.
Right. Well, you call me someday. We have a word for that. Yenekis, women. That's all. And
what Joe just said, I like what he said. When he's describing a song, he's like, when you were dating your girlfriend, how we started from here or whoever. Again, let's touch base on that. For other artists that there might be alternative lifestyles out there, are you guys shunning from that? If there's artists that might be of the alternative world wanting to get their music out there,
honestly,
or might be of that lifestyle.
No. Honestly, one of the biggest artists that we work with is trans.
Okay.
And they're all over TV.
What's the rapper? That might have been
Tony, do you know if they're out yet? I want to make sure.
Oh yeah. Leave it alone. We'll leave it alone.
I want to talk about it.
Ontario, Phoenix.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, funny you.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
African American, correct?
Yeah.
Correct. Phoenix.
Yeah.
I saw her on something. Somebody sent me the link to the rap and house music. It was house music they got sent over to me about her. I could not believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I was really shocked and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Music. Okay. So that's the way the audience gets to know. There's no judgment here because it's power positivity.
We got Vale says Chris Chenery is sending his goods to you.
Thank you.
These are great artists, she says. Well, we know that. We only have the best here. Where
you guys got artists coming your way, and like I told you, Zach here, Tony, I got a couple people from the streets that are out here trying to put the grind in. Got a little bit of backgrounds on them, but now they have an avenue. Yep. They're out there trying to sell their CDs and get their stuff out there. So now I have a way to get them promoted.
Anything more for our?
Yes.
Yes.
One other thing to mention is that Tony is planning on coming back out to Chicago this year. We're still in that phase, but he should be going on tour.
Okay.
And Chicago is going to be one of his first stops.
All right.
So if anyone,
you have to have him here Saturday.
Yes, of course.
Okay, a week or so before, so we can push tickets. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, why don't we here? Okay, since he's coming back, one of our biggest things here is Lollapalooza.
Yes.
Get him a couple artists. Someone need to reach out to the mayor's office, whoever's doing Lollapalooza. Hey. Tony, you'd blow up. We already blown up, but I mean to get the other artists out there, that Rusty, to get this Cohen, really.
You want Lollapalooza, but you also want Riot Fest.
Yes, even
Riot
better. Yes.
Fest.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so and they have rappers
the Riot
too.
Fest.
No, Riot Fest has rappers too.
I know.
They had Ice-T and
I know.
Right?
Over at Douglas Park. Yeah, they had
Ice Cube. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been to Riot Fest like 5 years in a row, and I can't remember.
Well, your ears and the music, it shadowed you.
Yeah, but anyways, so Tony will be making appearances. So if anyone does want to book Tony on their show or whatever, please reach out to me as well. It's the same email, Zach@capitalmig.com, ZAC@capitalmig.com.
We're going to send you Sophie St. John from LA too, because she is wonderful.
I would love that. Yes, thank you.
I don't think we can find her song right now because we're running out of time. But
we have a connection with a guy named Georgie Porgy. He's a hip hop artist. Georgie. I don't know if Georgie wants to jump labels and on.
We'll see. Well, he's got his own label, but hey, You know,
well, that's part of it. You know, higher power entertainment.
Right.
Yeah, you know, collaboration happens at the top. It's competition that happens at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't even want to go into because I know Georgie's music, but the new artist that you guys just talked about, the transgender, that's not the thing. But I like the music. That's me. I'm an old school house guy and freestyle.
All right. Any business before we go, because we got to play his song and it's about 2.5 minutes.
I'm good. Thanks, everybody.
Next week we got the original Italian recipe, Yamos. His son Mark's coming. I got to make sure he brings some cooked
if you don't
sample.
bring food, don't come.
We don't want raw. You know, we can heat it up in the microwave. Like I said last week, Lisa Zane's got a new album on. You know, I got to introduce you to Lisa Zane, Billy Zane's brother. She's got a nice Spanish
that'd be
thing. Awesome. Working on Curly's grandson to come on. I think it'd be a good show. Bobby, come back next week. We miss you. We love you. And the only sad news I have, our longtime friend, Father Stephen Bethos, passed away in his sleep. His condolences to his wife and his daughters and his grandkids. Zoisimas is a Greek saying. You want to introduce the song?
Yeah, so this song is Tony DeYoung's song called Bipolar. Please enjoy.
I'm gonna sit here and try to lie till I don't need you, 'cause I know I
I told you that I heart you, and I told you from the start too. You stick on me like Gorilla Glue, way more than something new. And I love that you can trust me, not just because you lust me and your beautiful smile. Man, I'm feeling butterflies, haven't felt like this in a while. You're just like speed to me, I can run the 10 mile. All I do is think about you, I can't forget about you, boo, and you ain't got a clue. Baby, if you think this ain't true, and I'm thinking about you again, so let me grab this pen. You're the reason my heart beats, the reason I'm complete, and I'm done being discreet. I wanna be so nice to you, like way more than sweet. Come on, roll with me, baby girl, I'll set you free. I got my love degree, and let's set aside the glory. Forget that I'm known worldwide, this is a true story. Baby, I look forward to you every day, just to hear what you gotta say. So it's clear that I need you, I'm done looking at the menu.
I'm gonna sit here and try to lie till like I don't need you, 'cause I know I do, I know that ain't true. And I need you, tomorrow needs a day, the ocean needs a wave. I'm not gonna lie to you, 'cause I know it's true, I know it's true. I need you. I need you. I need you.
All my life I've been looking for a wifey, always choosing unwisely. I went through a growth spurt, now I just don't want the hurt. Then you came into my rear view, I love seeing that text. It's such a pleasure to hear you, and I know I'm a jerk shit, but baby girl, I'm worth it. You're going through my head so much, I'm about to short circuit. But ma, this is working. I know I make a lot of mistakes, but baby, I'm learning. You could tell by my emotions that, yo, I'm determined. This is all happening so fast, you got me in a whirlwind. I never want this thing forever to extend, and I'll never be fake, never try to pretend. Come on, be my best friend as well as my girlfriend, just so you're content and you feel that respect, and never feel neglect. Promise no disrespect, but your greatest moments in life with me, I want you to reflect. I want us to be perfect.
Not gonna sit here and try.
The preceding program, Where Are They Now, is sponsored by Art Andros and Bobby Drell of Hey Listen Communications. The views and opinions therein do not necessarily reflect those of News or Radio Company or its